This is WWE superstar Isaiah Swerve Scott.
What up, guys? My name's Alex. I'm a content creator here at Swerve City Podcast.
Mike the GOAT in the building. Motion graphics designer, video producer here for the podcast.
It is Sai here. I am the director here at the Swerve City Podcast.
What is good, everybody? This is your man, TZ Scott. I am the co-host, hip-hop artist of the Swerve City Podcast. What's the announcement, big bro?
Man, we are here to make the big announcement that the Swerve City Podcast, that means all of us, are moving on and upgrading to the WWE Network, y'all. And if you don't know what that means we got bigger and newer guests coming, new location, and a bigger budget, y'all. But that doesn't mean you stop subscribing to youtube.com/Swerve City Podcast for newer and more unique content. And as always, be confident in everything you do.
Wash your hands.
Better do your homework.
The Swerve City Podcast moves to its new home Friday, October 23rd, streaming only on WWE Network.
Yeah, the sun still shines, yeah, on my face, yeah, you only see what's in front of you, so you may not see my beautiful view.
From the young and I've been broke, seeing folks, hustle for $1 in between though, seeing shows, lease flows, overtime work in my street clothes, spitting high when the days off, Nick Cage on the ground for the face off, offset overtime how I take off, and I'm off to the jet like I made off.
Young boy, got time to kill. Piggy bank empty, got room to fill. But I got a lot of dreams, gonna count a lot of green. Time my money can spread like a room bill. Put my life at ease when I'm worry free. Stress ain't for me. See the smile on me? Now I ain't gonna change this life of mine. It's so divine, I'ma let it shine. But 20 bills in the bank, I'ma be alright. Had a few teens never be in the night. But the skirt from my partner switch keys like a motorbike. Right?
Might be wrong, yeah, but it's okay. Yeah, the sun still shines, yeah, on my face. Yeah, you only see what's in front of you, so you may not see my beautiful view. Yeah, I might be broke, yeah, but it's okay. Yeah, the sun still shines, yeah, on my face. Yeah, you only see what's in front of you, so you may not see my beautiful view.
Now maybe I seen pros, these woes don't weigh on me like kilo G's. Got a problem, got a fix it, gonna be a how I live and never need another gimmick. One room is how I'm living, $12 never spend it. I'm the one blue pill and salary is only 5 digits. Now you see what's new to you, ain't a lick to me. I'ma go on here with my grown ass self and pay for my FOOD and EBT.
I'm B.I.G. to B.A.C. T.I.P. call me A.G. Disciple, I write to moonwalk Michael, divine news, need some fly shoes, time shoes, spurs like my new, grind through. I know the hell is back, what type of feeling is that? Crabs trying to pull me down while I'm building my stack. Got love for the hood, never gave it back. Out the barrel, now flaw, can you riddle me that?
Might be wrong, yeah, but it's okay. Yeah, the sun still shines, yeah, on my face. Yeah, you only see what's in front of you, so you may not see my beautiful view. Sometimes it's dark, it might be gray. Before too long, it'll be okay. The journey feels, it might bring tears. Don't hurt my dear, your time is near. I might be wrong, yeah, but it's okay. Yeah, the sun still shines, yeah, on my face. Yeah, you only see what's in front of you, so you may not see my beautiful view.
Untitled Chapter.
Oh, what up? What is up? What is up? It's the Wearing Green Experience right here on YouTube. Great to have you all in. Oh, shouts out to my boy Mickey. Mickey, I forgot his. Damn it. Forgot the other. Mickey and Teddy. Yeah, I forgot both their names. I was trying to think of the other one's name. His boy, Teddy. But the Corner Boys. Thank y'all for having me on y'all show this past Friday. Well, it's gonna air. It's gonna be up by I believe this Thursday. So I'm gonna put that out as soon as they put that out. You could check it out. I was a guest host on their show, and it was great. I had fun doing it. We stood up basically all night recording. It was a great time. It was actually my first podcast that I've been a guest on. So shout out to them. Thank you, Mickey. Thank you, Teddy, for having me on the Corner Boys podcast. And you can check out the Corner Boys podcast on Spotify. Just search the Corner Boys podcast and you'll be able to find it. And I believe it's on other platforms as well. So check them out. They're dope. They're pretty dope. It's like I listen to a lot of shows and I notice that a lot of people are robots on these shows. It's like they have no enthusiasm, but everything from them is authentic. Everything I hear since I've been listening to them is exactly how I heard it when I was there. It was like I was listening, but I was just there because I've heard three previous episodes and they were all good episodes. So shouts out to them. They came at me with some raw stuff and I came at them. So you can check it out there. I'm gonna post excerpts from it. So make sure you look out for that. And anybody wants to hit me up on Instagram, my Instagram is William Green _WGX. You can see it flashing across the bottom of the screen. So make sure you follow me on there. That's about it. But I just want to talk about something. You can see it on the screen. It reads, "Is depression real?" Now you're wondering, why would you ask such a thing? Why would you ask, is depression real? I mean, of course it is, right? Well, there's somebody that really doesn't think so. Somebody by the name of Tate. Andrew Tate, I believe is his name. He's a former kickboxing champion, former MMA champion. I forgot which promotions. I didn't get to look that up. But the little I did look up, I looked up a little about him. I didn't get to see his matches or how he performed. I just know that he was a MMA fighter at one point in his career. Well, in his life, I should say. He was an MMA fighter, and then he went from doing that into, I guess, being an entrepreneur. So I respect entrepreneurs. I respect everybody. Oh, whoops. My bad. I'm actually about to play a video that I want to break down for you guys. Basically, how it came to this, how I came to wanting to do a show like this. Well, there's a show that I listen to on YouTube. It's a dating podcast that's live on YouTube. You can check them out on all other platforms you hear your podcast, included iHeartRadio. So you can check them out on there too. But Basically, Fresh and Fit podcast. Their dating podcasts. They say they're the number one dating podcast in the world. I mean, that could be debatable because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of them out there. And I've been listening to a lot of these, these red pill shows where they talk about, how men need to stand up for women and all this other stupid stuff. Well, it's not stupid, but it's a lot of different things. I agree, men do need to stand up to these women. They can't because a lot of them be doormats. And I come up here, advocating that men need to grow a backbone when it comes to certain situations, not be a simp. So that's basically what they're trying to promote on their show. They're trying to teach men how to get high value women, which I can respect because I feel like a lot of men they need coaching, rather it be from a friend or a family member. They need some sort of coaching. Some people need it. Hell, I think we all need it at one point in our lives. Like I don't know everything. Like I have people sit down and talk to me about game and all this other stuff. I mean, I'm not gonna. I'll be open. I'm an open-minded person. I'll be open-minded to stuff. So I believe everybody needs some sort of coaching. But what I'm about to play for you guys, it goes way deeper than that. Basically, this man says that depression isn't real. I'm gonna say it again. He says that depression isn't real. So yeah, this is basically, and by the way, I'm doing this by way of fair use. So I don't really have to ask your permission to take this because I'm doing it for the purposes of criticizing you guys, or particularly this guy that I'm about to criticize right now. Now he has his opinion. Everybody has an opinion. I'm not going to knock him for his opinion. If he believes you can believe whatever you want, but the facts are the facts. You can't dispute any facts if it's there. If it can be proven to be wrong or right, you can't refute it at that point. It's just what it is. So I'm about to play a clip from the Fresh and Fit podcast where they had him on. Basically, I'm gonna tell you how I came across this video. As you know, like I said a few minutes ago, I actually listened to these guys. So what happened was I was listening to them because I listen to a lot of podcasts before I go to sleep. Not to say that they put me to sleep, but I like to listen to something that I feel that's interesting. And while listening to it, I'll go to sleep. I listen to a lot of different things during my free time when I'm up at night because I'm constantly trying to research how to either better myself or to improve something like my setup right here. Like I like to sorry. I like to improve. I like to know stuff. I'm a curious person. So I'm always up listening to things. So I'm listening to the he was on there. He was on there for like a few like for like an hour and a half, something like that. But I came across this. I was looking at you scrolling on YouTube, and it pops up in the title about depression. Well, let me see. I'm gonna show you something right quick. Okay, hot 19-year-old girl and $1 million solve sadness. That's basically what he's implying. Let me scroll down so I can show you guys right here. Hot 19-year-old girls. I'm sorry. Hot 19-year-olds and $1 million solves sadness. That's what he says. He says that somewhere in no in this tirade or whatever you want to call this, I'm about to show you, or this rant about depression. It's really hilarious, honestly, because when I was listening to it, almost 50% through it, I was, oh my god, I was in tears, not of sadness, of laughter, because this is the dumbest stuff that I've ever heard in my life. Like honestly, it's the stupidest shit that I've ever heard of in my life. In fact, let me not run my mouth any longer. I want to let y'all hear this for yourselves. And that's exactly why I posed the question when on on Instagram and Facebook. Not because I believe it, because somebody said this. But by the way, I'm doing this under fair use. So take a look. It's from the Fresh and Fit podcast. Whoops. Give me 1 second. I actually have to change audio settings in order to play this video for some strange reason. So bear with me. Hold on.
You went viral for saying depression isn't real.
Oh. Yeah, I went big time viral. I had every
J.K. Rowling?
Yeah,
Everybody.
all of Hollywood was gutted for me, right? They were very upset. I told the truth.
Can we talk about that? Your
Sure.
views on depression not being real, and you give the toxically masculine, unfiltered, raw side of it.
Well, depression is another weapon they use to destroy our masculine energy, right? That's another weapon they use because the majority of depressed people are men. Men suffer from depression more than females because a man's life is worse than a female's life. A man's life's much harder, right? So another way they destroy us is they convince us to be absolutely selfish. Depression is nothing but extreme selfishness. That's what I'm going to call it. And I'm going to tell you why it's not real in a second. But if you're depressed, you're living inside of your mind, you're obsessed with how you feel, you don't care about anything outside of yourself, and you're an exceptionally selfish person. That's all they're trying to do is convince you and teach you to be extremely selfish. Let me tell you something. I'm going to say this right here, right now, because there's a whole bunch of famous people, Lincoln Park, whatever, they killed themselves. If you have children and you kill yourself, you're not a man. I don't care what you're feeling. I don't care how sad you are. You have children to take care of. You're going to embarrass your children. You're going to leave your children without a father.
Andrew, we said that one more time.
Because you're sad. If you have children and you kill yourself, you were never a man to begin with. Absolute garbage. Garbage. And the only reason this crap happens is because of the acceptance of depression. People say that depression is stigmatized. It's the complete opposite. It's accepted now to the point where it's almost promoted. It's insane. Let me tell you something. Depression is not real. Feeling depressed is real. So you can feel depressed, but you feel depressed, and that is a natural biological evolutionary trigger for you to change something in your life. That's your own mind telling you you're unhappy about X. If I went to jail today, I'd be depressed because I'm in jail. I haven't caught depression. I don't have a disease. I'm just upset with my situation. I have people mess me all the time. I'm fat and I can't get a girlfriend because I'm depressed. I'm like, no, pancake lover. You're depressed because you're fat and you can't get a girlfriend. Do you understand? This is the point, right? So for a lot of people, your life is depressing. A lot of you out there, if you're sitting there and you say you suffer from depression, you probably live a depressing life. You probably live a depressing life. So if I was you, I'd be depressed. But if you were me, you'd be happy. Do you know what could solve depression for most poor people? $1 million in the bank. Boom. So how is it a disease? So when I say this to people, most of them agree and they go, okay, but if that's true, why do famous people kill themselves? And I say, well, I know you think you outsmarted me, but I'm Andrew Tate. And I have the answer. The reason is twofold. This absolute acceptance of depression and acceptance of weakness. When you accept anything, to a degree, you're promoting it. Weakness is promoted now in men, right? So let's take Robin Williams as an example. Robin Williams killed himself.
I was just going to say him.
Robin Williams, right? Famous. He could be banging 19-year-olds for the rest of his life. Multi-millionaire. Everyone loves him. How could he possibly kill himself? I'll tell you why. Because when he walked into the therapist's office and said, I feel depressed, the therapist said, okay, here's some mind-altering drugs. Start taking these. And then I need to see you 6 hours a day, every day, and we're going to talk about sad things for the next 10 years. He was in therapy for 10 years. Oh, yeah. If I had to take mind-altering drugs and talk about sad things for 6 hours a day for 10 years, I'd kill myself. But if he would have walked into the therapist's office and the therapist said to him, you're Robin Williams. There are people in the world with no food. Yeah. There are families in Syria. There are school buses being bombed in Yemen. There are people who lost their entire family in a car crash today. You're Robin Williams, and everyone you love is in perfect health. You're a selfish idiot. Get out of my office. Get some balls. He'd still be alive today. The cure made it worse. And this whole society of accepting depression, as soon as someone's depressed, instantly go to them, oh, poor you. It's okay. We know you can't help it. You can't help it. Why are you telling people they can't help it? Why are you reinforcing that mindset in people? If you come to me and say you're depressed, I say, I will fix you. And you know what's crazy? When I said this depression thing wasn't real, do you know how many people stuck up for depression? You don't understand. I'm depressed. Depression's real. I was like, if it's so horrible, why are you defending it? You sound like it's a PR team. Why, I thought it was ruining your life, but you are desperate for me to believe in it. You want me to believe in it. You're sticking up for it. You're defending depression, trying to convince me it's real because it's your cure-all excuse for failure. When you're depressed, you can fail in every human metric. I fail at everything, but I'm depressed. It's not my fault. No, you're a failure. That's all you are because you're not trying very hard. If you live in a house, I say this all the time. This is the reason I don't believe in depression. Because I don't believe in depression, I cannot become depressed. No matter what the worst thing that could possibly happen to me on earth, I will feel sad, but I will recover and I will not become depressed because I don't believe in depression. If you're in an old haunted house, right? You have two people in two haunted houses. One believes in ghosts and one doesn't. You hear some noise in the night. The wind blows, right? The man who believes in ghosts is like, oh no, a ghost. Now he's scared, right? He wants an exorcist. He can't sleep. He's scared about ghosts. He's paranoid. The guy who doesn't believe in ghosts goes, wind, whatever. He goes back to sleep. Do you understand that it's the belief that gives it power? Right. If you don't believe in ghosts, the ghost can't hurt you. If you don't believe in depression, you can't become depressed. And I refuse to believe in something that's going to weaken me. Why would I believe in something that's going to weaken my ability to deal with problems in life? Why would I do that? I'm temporarily immortal. Do you understand? Do you understand? I'm temporarily immortal. And I'm not going to waste my living years believing in things which take power from me. Because I'm not an idiot. So if you're going to sit there and go, depression is real, actually, you don't understand the troubles I'm going through. You're a moron. You are a moron. And the great thing about morons is, as you lose, there's no light without dark, right? There's no joy without pain. For me to be a winner, there needs to be losers. If you want to be depressed and sit around broke while I'm flexing in the Lambo, then do it. Go do it. But you're not going to convince me to join your way of thinking. The last thing, anyone who's watching this, I want you to understand. The last thing you should ever do is adopt the thinking of someone who is sad. Bam. Why would you want to think like the sad person? I'm sad and I'm semi-suicidal. You should have the same views and beliefs as me. Get the fuck out of here. No, depression. Damn. It ain't real. There, I'm just blowing out of the water. It's not real. You can come at me and say whatever you want. It's not real. Man, I need some more vodka.
Yeah, what you just heard. Ooh, dropped my phone. Oh my God, he said a lot. This man said a lot. Okay, let's unpack what he said. Everything he said. Let's unpack all of it. I'm sorry because I'm over here laughing my ass off because what he says, like, at the end of the whole thing is just plain out hilarious. And you can tell that this comes from a place, he comes from a very high place of thinking, like, these are the people that have it all, or at least that's what it appears to be. That's why they have this stupid mindset. But let's just break down what he exactly said. Okay, okay. Before go any further with my criticisms, I'm gonna agree with him with one thing. His premise is basically saying that what he's arguing is what is situational depression. That could be curable, but to say depression isn't real, he lying because it is real. I don't need to try to convince you that it's not real because it's a fact that is real because there's different types of depression. What you just did, sir, is you just looped all depression into just being one thing, one specific type of depression. When there's other forms of depression. There's major depression. There's persistent depressive disorder. There's bipolar disorder. There's seasonal affective disorder, or SAD, psychotic depression, postpartum depression. That's what most women experience after giving birth. Sheesh, I'm glad I'm not a woman in regards to that. Situational depression, which is what he's explaining, and atypical depression. Now, that's what he's describing. He's describing situational depression, meaning your situation is the reason why you're depressed, and most people can change the situation unless they have no control over the situation. Just going to read the comments right quick. Yeah, that's what I wondered last night when I was watching this myself. Hey, 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 hey. Hope y'all enjoying the show. Thanks for watching. But yeah, what he's describing is situational depression. Like if I work at a garbage ass job and I have I'm the one that can control that. I mean, they can fire me, but I can also quit. So if I don't like the job, I can quit. So that's basically what he's describing. Hey, what's good, Brody? That's what he's describing. But to say that it's not real, honestly, on his part, is disingenuous. Like he said a lot. First of all, Robin Williams, he killed himself. He didn't kill himself because he was actually, feeling down. He killed himself because he had a form of dementia. Dementia. He had another form of dementia that that messed with his mental state. His mental state was going down. Like he was losing his sense of thought, comprehension. He was losing all that stuff. So he thought, hey, I'm gonna die anyway, so I may as well off myself. Because living with that, it's a different animal. Like that's a mental illness that he was dealing with. That's what made him kill himself. Nobody wants to deal with mental illnesses. Like he said a lot of interesting things too, therapy. He mentioned, first of all, when you go to therapy, first of all, actually, I'm gonna play some more because he said something else.
let's get some more vodka cranberry, bro. I'll say this, man. Andrew Tate House, guys. I said it too, man. Especially as a man, your accomplishments, right, from your competence creates confidence.
Yeah.
Most of the time, these guys that are depressed, it's because they haven't accomplished anything. They're sitting at home crying.
You're depressed because your life's depressing. You wake up, you're fat, you're lonely. You go to the fridge, there's no milk. I can't even have Cheerios. That's it. I'm depressed. Of course. That's because you're living a depressing lifestyle. If you woke up sexy, like me, you'd be okay. But this is the thing. As a man, you need to build your value. This has all been discussed a million times before. All the things I have are things I've got myself. If you have nothing worth having, you're going to live a depressing life. I don't believe in depression. I refuse to believe.
That's the thing, Mr. Tate. You don't have to believe in it. Whether you believe it or not, it doesn't negate the fact that it exists. It's real. I just listed the types of depression there is out there. So is major depression, is that fake? Persistent depression disorder, is that fake? Bipolar disorder, is that fake? Seasonal affective disorder, is that fake? Those things are not fake because people go on medication because of those things because there's no that cure for it. Yes, there's cure for situational depression, but ain't no cure for all that other stuff that I listed. And also he said something in there about being selfish. Let me address that. In fact, for those of you who just tuned in, I'm gonna play it for y'all one more time.
Everybody,
all of Hollywood is gutted, men. Men suffer from depression more than females because of man's extreme selfishness. That's what I'm going to call it. And I'm going to tell you why it's not real in a second. But if you're depressed, you're living inside of your mind. You're obsessed with how you feel. You don't care about anything outside of yourself, and you're an exceptionally selfish person.
So, how is being depressed selfish? Like, I want to know that. Like, being sad and being depressed, you're first of all, and then he said something about Chester Bennington, the member of Linkin Park, killing himself. First of all, you don't even know why or what that person was going through for him to want to take his own life. That's number one. Like, that's a pretty shallow thing to say because you don't know that man. You don't know why he did what he did. And you also mentioned people being fat and depressed. Like, so I noticed that people link depression to just being fat. You don't have to necessarily be morbidly obese or whatever to feel depressed. Dak Prescott plays for the Cowboys. You know him. He was depressed because his brother passed away. So is that fake? Is he faking it? Yeah, I agree, Susie. He is a coward. That he's overcompensating for something that's probably wrong with him. Like, I'm gonna let you know right now, I'm not a professional as of yet. I am studying mental health, and all of what he said is just mostly conjecture, honestly. Because on the actually I'm gonna play another video. It was another interview with him. I'm gonna pull it up right now. Basically, he goes in. He actually goes in and elaborates some of the stuff that he said on this show. Actually, no. This is actually recent. This show that he was on was 3 weeks ago, and I guess it was with a dating coach or life coach. Honestly speaking, life coaches, Don't listen to them. If they call, like, anybody can go on the internet and call themselves a life coach. Anybody. Like, I don't know what credentials these people have. They don't show their credentials. Most of these people on the internet claim to be life coaches. They're full of shit anyway. Yeah, I agree, BJ. I agree. It sounds like he's trying to overcompensate for something. Because oh man. In fact, let me play another clip. Play another clip right quick. This is hilarious.
Like,
now this is on another show that he was on. He basically talks about the same thing because he went viral for saying what he said. And people are trying to say, oh, you're trying to defend depression. Like, no, we're not defending depression, you moron. We're basically defending the fact that is real. It exists. And that's a fact. And I love how the two hosts, I love how they're trying to say that it's factual information. Like, you two know damn well that what he's saying is complete bullshit. You know it. You just don't want to call him out on it because you probably subscribe to his themes and stuff. So, I mean, if you subscribe to it, then y'all just be wrong right along with him. But let me play this. Let me play this other clip.
My biggest ever outrage is when, this was about 4 years ago, is when I was still verified on Twitter before I got banned. And I said depression wasn't real. And I know that's like a really controversial take. And my point was very simple. My point is that depression is a natural instinct inside of men. And it's something that is designed to show you that you need to change something about your life. If like you go to jail and you're depressed, it's not because you've caught depression, it's because you're in jail. This is why. So if you feel depressed, you need to wake up and go, well, why am I depressed? And how can I change this? I had people message me saying, you don't understand how it feels. I'm fat and I can't get a girlfriend because I'm depressed. I said, no, you're depressed because you're fat and you can't get a girlfriend. Right. You got it the wrong way around. So when I said depression wasn't a clinical disease and it's simply the result of not living a life that you truly enjoy and you're not happy with, it blew up. It went huge. I had Hollywood stars. I had J.K. Rowling and the guy who plays the Incredible Hulk, and everyone was coming for me. And when this was like the most controversial I got, and everyone was trying to cancel me. And at the time, I was doing television commentary for the cage fighting here in Romania. And when I went into work to commentate, the owner of the organization called RXF, it's like the Romanian UFC, he had a stack of emails like this. Shit. Where people had Googled me, found my employment, and emailed him saying I'm a misogynist and I'm fucking encouraging suicide and all these crazy pages and pages. And he sat down there and goes, "What's this?" I was like, "Bro, in the West, this is what they do." And he was laughing out loud. He's Romanian. He's reading emails going, "These people have no life. What are these people?" I was like, he goes, "What do they want me to do?" I was like, "They're hoping you're going to fire me." Right. And the whole boardroom was laughing, and they threw the emails away, and we carried on with life. Because we're not in a society which is held ransom. I'm lucky to live in a society which is not held ransom by these people. But in America, if I had a normal job, it would have been it. You know, it's absolutely crazy now. So, and what happens when you take away a man's speech? If a man's not free to talk, what's a man free to do? That's the first way you demasculinize a man. You tell him to shut up.
Exactly.
That's what happens.
Yeah, that's crazy. I have the same exact view on depression. And I've said it multiple times, and I don't understand why people are so damn outraged by it because it's not that big of a fucking deal, right? It's like, it's especially with depression, it's cyclic also. Like our lives are supposed to go up and down. They don't just fucking go up. It's a roller coaster.
Life is depressing. I say this to people. I'm depressed. Well, life's depressing. You're getting older. You're gonna die. You know, there's a whole bunch of people with a bunch more money than you. Welcome to the fucking real world. Life's depressing. Are you a bitch? You're going to cry about it? Or you're going to do something about it? Like, life is depressing. Who told us Tell me where it says in the human handbook that we're supposed to be happy all of the time.
Right,
We're not
exactly.
supposed to be happy. We're supposed to survive. Now, if you're a man, you can survive even if you're miserable. I say this all the time. Give me depression. You wouldn't even notice. This is what pisses them off because they're like, oh, yeah, you wouldn't be able to function. I guarantee I can still drive my Lambo and fuck women. I guarantee you.
Right.
Try me. Because I refuse to be such a baby that I'm going to sit there and go, well, I feel a certain way, so I have to act a certain way. No. One of the number one tenets of masculinity, in fact, it's probably the primary tenet of masculinity, is acting different to how you feel. This 100%. Is the primary tenet of masculinity. Do you think the men on the Titanic felt like dying? No, but they acted a certain way because they were men. The women and the children are afraid and they're going to run. I'm afraid and I'm going to stay here because I'm a man. As a man, you have to control your emotions. So I don't give a shit if you're depressed. There's no excuse to not be an adult and make sensible decisions based on discipline alone. I'm too depressed to train. No, you lack discipline. Because I've felt miserable. Every single person has. I didn't miss a gym session ever. So I don't believe in that crap. I don't believe in it. And I don't believe in it because I know that the true cure to fixing people is to tell them, here's the example I gave when this whole thing blew up. I said, if I moved into a house and I heard squeaks in the night and I don't believe in ghosts, I'm going to attribute it to the wind and go back to sleep. If I move into the same house and hear the same squeaks, but I'm a big believer in ghosts,
First of all, before I continue with the video, I'm just going to attack something he just said there, the last part. He's comparing depression to ghost. So he really thinks that depression is just is really fake, when it's clearly real because there's different forms of depression disorders that's out there. He's trying to equate depression to seeing ghosts. It's fine if you don't believe in depression, but that doesn't mean it's not real. Ghosts aren't real. Scientifically, there's no such thing as ghosts, but people believe in ghosts. That's fine. Depression is not something that you necessarily have to believe, but it's there. It's true. That is real. You can't refute that. Yeah, Clarissa. I agree. I believe that a lot of these so-called dating coaches, I actually believe that some of them are full of shit. They're just playing off the emotions of, for the most part, most guys that are afraid to approach women. But there's more. He says more. I'm gonna play some more.
I'm going to start being scared. I'm going to call an exorcist. I'm going to say it's a ghost. So my point is, the same situation gets worse based primarily on my beliefs. If you don't believe in depression, you can't be depressed.
Right.
All you can be is, okay, I feel a bit pissed off. Time to get up and go get it. Let's hit the gym, bang, hit the club. I'm going to make some things happen in my life. But if you do believe in depression, the second you feel sad, the first thing you do is sit down and go, this isn't my fault I feel this way. I have a disease and nothing's going to make me better. And you're going to get worse. So this is the whole point. This is what was amazing when I said depression wasn't real. I said, if all you, because I was getting attacked by, all the Avatar, Anon characters, I'm depressed, you don't understand, my friend killed himself, blah, blah, blah. I said, listen, if depression is really so horrible, why are you all defending it so fervently? So it's real, it's so powerful, it's real. Why are you defending this horrible thing?
Again, this dude is just talking out of his ass at this point. Because nobody is defending depression, you stupid fuck. We're defending the position in the idea that it's fake when people suffer from depression. That's why people are coming after you. In fact, do me one favor. I just want to do a sound check right quick. If you can hear me, if you can hear sound, just tell me. Just send the one. Two, if it's a no, send the two.
Why don't you sit there and go, you know what? You're right, Andrew. Fuck depression. They wanted to.
I don't know if y'all can hear me. You can hear it? Hold on. Because for some reason sometimes it doesn't play videos to my to one of my audio sources. But you can hear me, right? I'm gonna play it again.
Because it's an identity. It's something that allows them.
Can you hear the video?
Individuality. It's something that allows them to. It's an excuse. It's a ready-made excuse for all of life's failures. I'm a loser, but not my fault. But depression. That's all it is. It's fucking.
You can hear the video, right?
Coping mechanism. I don't believe it. I do not believe in depression. I believe if you really feel terrible,
Okay.
and someone to come along and give you $10 million, you'd probably feel a bit better. Also, just to quickly touch on this, because every time I say this.
Okay. Sure, if somebody gives somebody's a shitload of money, it's gonna make them feel better. I agree to that. But it's not addressing the problem, though. Oh, the video is low. Yeah, I really can't do much about that. I think it's just my art. Hold on, let me see if I can.
People come at me and think they're smart, and they say, "Well, what about Robin Williams? He was famous. He killed himself. Blah blah blah." And I say, "Yeah," and I'll tell you why he killed himself. He killed himself because of people like you who are telling him depression is real.
No, he killed himself because he had a mental illness. You stupid bald-headed son of a bitch. Like, if you did any research, number one, I read the comment section. Everybody says facts, facts, facts. First of all, know what a fact is before you go in the comment section of a video and say facts. Just because it's something that you may agree with doesn't mean it's a fact. Because in fact, there's different forms of depression. That's a fact. And in the last one, when he was on the Fresh and Fit podcast, he mentioned something about Robin Williams going to a therapist and the therapist giving him medication. First of all, you stupid bastard, a therapist doesn't give you any medication. A psychiatrist does. That's the difference. So if you're gonna go on a platform and talk about mental health and talk about depression, and rather than not it's real or not, make sure you know what the hell you're talking about first. Because therapists don't give you medication. A psychiatrist does. There's a difference. Oh my God, people are just dumb. There's a difference. And earlier in this clip, he said, being depression and whatever won't stop him from, like fucking women and driving his Lamborghini. There are a lot of depressed people that still do things like that. You could be active and still be depressed. That's why those forms of depression still exist. They exist for a reason, because it can happen to anybody. What you're describing is, like I said, situational depression. You're looping that into one big broad brush, and you're trying to paint it with a big broad brush when it's deeper than that. And also, he mentioned something about, you're like, he was asking a fat person why he's depressed. He's depressed because you're fat and you can't get a girlfriend. That's what. No. You ever asked him why he's depressed? Besides, accepting whatever generic answer he gives you, Because most people who are depressed, they're not going to tell you they're depressed. They're not. They're not going to. They're not going to tell you that there's anything wrong with them. Because people who are depressed, they do a good job of hiding it. And the reason they do a good job of hiding it because of people like this. Because you listen to people like that, tells you, they're gonna tell you, oh, you're weak because you're coming out and telling everybody you're depressed. Now, I get you got people that, you got the emos that be going on Facebook and stuff, talking about, oh, they're depressed. You see, I feel that some of them, not all, some are full of shit. Some of them full of shit. Tom Brady. Well, I don't really think he's depressed. At least he's not showing it. Hey, what up, Safed? Yeah, I was going to actually talk about that. Professional wrestlers, they do suffer from depression because they're always on the road. They're always busy. It's like somewhere in there he mentions, oh, if you keep busy, you won't be depressed because you won't think about it. It doesn't work like that, bro.
Not people like me.
Right.
When Robin Williams was in therapy for 10 years. If he would have walked into his first therapy session and his therapist said, "Look, Robin, you're a millionaire, you're famous, you can fuck any woman alive. You coming here is insulting to people with PTSD and genuine conditions, which I believe is different. If you've been through some real shit in a war, fine, you can be depressed. If you're just Joe Schmo and nothing's happened to you, you have no reason to be depressed. I'd say, look, Robin, you've got a fantastic."
How do you know if he has Oh my God, this fool is an idiot. I know what? I didn't even listen to this part, so I'm going to react the same way y'all are.
Fantastic life. You coming here is insulting people with real issues. Grow up and get the fuck out my office. I guarantee he'd still be alive.
Actually, he won't be alive, you moron, because you didn't address the issue. You didn't address the issue. You didn't address the issue of why he was depressed. If you were his therapist and you was to tell him that, he would have killed himself the same night. The same night. Because you didn't ask him what was wrong. You just looked at the surface of what his life is like. Because honestly, with anybody, rich, poor, what have you, you only see the surface level of what's going on with a person. Just like social media. People pretend to be happy all the time. They won't tell you what's bothering them. It's to the point that you got people who just get dolled up just to go on social media. You never know what they look like without makeup. Or I'm gonna keep it a bean. I go 3 weeks without getting a haircut. I get a haircut every 3 weeks. And I post pictures of me between haircuts. You know why? Because I don't care, because I'm not comfortable with myself to do that. People who are not comfortable with themselves wouldn't do that. And then you got often people saying, oh, why don't you get a shape up? Yeah, some bald headed son bitch, he tried to come at me on that because I posted a picture and he was like, don't you ever get a shape up? Why do you care that much?
But instead, they tell him.
Actually,
After 10 years now, I jumped off a bridge.
Yeah.
Of course, he thought I can't handle it. One of this therapy bullshit. And the whole time they're telling you you're never going to get better. You're never going to get better. Depression's got you now. There's nothing you can do. It's in your brain. Like, come on, man. This whole idea of depression being the scariest thing in the world is what's making people kill themselves. You're giving these people no hope.
First of all, a therapist will never tell you that what he just said. So at this point, he's just making shit up. he just saying anything.
I'll give you hope.
How do you know he's perfectly normal?
To deal with their shit, and it's just a question of whether you've dealt with your shit or not. And most guys have not dealt with their shit. And once you deal with your shit, I mean, we all have different shit to deal with, but there's not. It's the natural state of humans to be fucked up. Like we're all fucked up.
Of course. And life ain't fucking easy. You know the problem is we've given names to everything.
All right, thank you for letting me know that. I'm about to rewind in a few seconds. Let me change my settings.
Off a bridge.
Yeah.
Of course. There's insulting to people with real issues. Grow up and get the fuck out my office. Robin Williams was in therapy for 10 years. If he would have walked into his first therapy session and his therapist said, "Look, Robin, you're a millionaire, you're famous, you can fuck any woman alive. You coming here is insulting to people with PTSD and genuine conditions, which I believe is different. If you've been through some real shit in a war, fine, you can be depressed. If you're just Joe Schmo and nothing's happened to you, you have no reason to be depressed. I'd say, look, Robin, you've got a fantastic life. You coming here is insulting to people with real issues. Grow up and get the fuck out my office." I guarantee he'd still be alive. But instead, they start giving him mind-altering drugs, antidepressants. They fuck with his brain chemistry. They tell him to sit down, and for 10 years, every day, go through every bad thing that's ever happened to you, so you cry your eyes out. After 10 years of that, I jumped off a bridge.
Yeah.
Of course, he thought, I can't handle another one of this therapy bullshit. And the whole time, they're telling him you're never going to get better. You're never going to get better. Depression's got you now. There's nothing you can do. It's in your brain. Like, come on, man. This whole idea of depression being the scariest thing in the world is what's making people kill themselves. You're giving these people no hope. I'll give you hope. There's your hope. It's bullshit. You're being a bitch. Get up and be a man. There's your hope. God, crazy.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100% on this. Listen up, guys, because this is important. In fact, every single one of when I do a coaching call with one of my new coaching clients, they always have some problem, right? And the very first thing I tell them is there's nothing fucking wrong with you. There's nothing. Whatever it is. Oh, I'm scared to talk to girls. I have social anxiety. I'm super nervous. Whatever it is. Oh, I'm super depressed. Oh, whatever the problem is. Oh, I have ADHD. Nope, there's nothing fucking wrong with you. You're perfectly normal. That's exactly, because everyone has to deal with their shit. And it's just a question of whether you've dealt with your shit or not. And most guys have not dealt with their shit. And once you deal with your shit, I mean, we all have different shit to deal with, but there's not. It's the natural state of humans to be fucked up. Like we're all fucked up.
Of course, and life ain't fucking easy. You know the problem is we've given names to everything, and when you give everything a name, people buy into it faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stopped the video because I seen something interesting right here. Give me one. Ooh, I just. Yes, these key takeaways. Depression is a natural instinct inside of man, something designed to show you that you need to change something about your life. First of all, that's not even the legal definition of what depression is. It's like they're just making shit up. Susie, honestly, Susie, I don't believe in cancel culture. They don't need to be canceled. They just need to be slapped. They need to be slapped, and they need to actually sit down and listen to reason and not just dumb shit. I don't believe in canceling anybody. They shouldn't be canceled. I feel like me doing this, make like I'm not really doing it for them, honestly, because I know they probably won't listen to any of the stuff that I have to say because of where I am compared to them. These people, they have way more money than I would probably have in my life, but at the end of the day, I'm authentic to who I am. So I'm basically making this to let people know that what he's saying is bullshit and it's not true. But I'm gonna continue to play the rest because there's probably some more there. Okay, there's no more. Hold on. Okay, there's no more. This is basically this is him breaking down, I guess, everything that he was saying. The primary tenet of masculinity is act. What the? Oh my god! I don't even want to read the rest of this garbage. It's garbage. But I'm gonna read some of the comments here. Yeah, they don't they don't want to listen to anybody's thoughts because he thinks that if like the opposing thought, the opposing opinion, or anybody who opposes them, he's gonna shut them down and say he's just gonna say anything. Yeah, and also about the host that of these shows that he was on, they're not gonna call him out because they either one subscribe to the theory that they subscribe to, so that's why they're not gonna call him out because they probably agree with them, or two, they're just scared. I like to think that I like to think that they're just scared, but I think it's deeper than that. Like I seriously think that most people think this way, and this is why people kill themselves. Because this is why people are afraid to come out and say that they're depressed. And number one, and to address what he said about therapy, I've been going to therapy for about almost 3 years. November of this year make 3 years since I've been going to therapy because I started going in November of 2018. And I don't just talk about sad stuff. The hell are you talking about? Therapy sessions and not psychiatrists, you stupid, dumb, bald headed son bitch. No, there's a difference. Yeah, they do. I believe they do hate themselves. They just not going to tell you that because they want you to see. Because I believe anybody who posts like because I've been on his Instagram. No, he posts pictures of his Maseratis and all this other stuff. Superficial stuff. I mean, the shit doesn't impress me one bit because what are you doing for like? What are you doing? What do you offer to the world besides your cars? Like none of that stuff is none of that stuff. You could take with you. So what does it all mean at the end of the day? It's like basically what he's trying to imply is money and women cure sadness if you're a man. No, that doesn't and sorry. That doesn't address the issue though. It don't address the issue. Basically what you're doing is you're putting band-aid on a gunshot wound. That's what you're doing. That's basically what you're doing when you're saying, "Oh, he said that all I need is a 19-year-old and $10 million." Okay. for most people who are poor or who are depressed, it's deeper than them just being poor. It's deeper than that. That's just one problem. Now you're gonna give them money, and they're gonna okay. You give them money, they're gonna live their life. They're gonna probably go on like boat trips and whatever. And then they realize that the people that's in their life, the new people that's gonna be in their life when they get the money, is gonna be people that they probably never hung out with before. I'm like, let me rephrase that. People that they never thought of hanging out with before. You see, when you get $10 million, you're gonna be hanging around. If you're that person that values that much people, like that'll let like anybody come into your circle, you're gonna end up meeting different types of people. And guess why they're there? They're there because they want something from you. They want your money. They want to bleed you dry. You're basically their meal ticket now. The same people that didn't talk to you in high school, if you get $10 million, they're going to be knocking at your door. So he doesn't really address the issue. He does okay, the coach, the so-called coach. He said that a client of his came into his office or whatever and told him that he's depressed and he got like social anxiety and stuff. He told him that nothing is wrong with him. How do you know nothing's wrong with him? Like, did you ask him why do you feel this way, or why do you feel like? Did you ask the appropriate questions, or did you just see the surface level BS that you want to when it comes to everybody and just go from there? And then, oh my God. Yeah, I can agree to that because he's in that same on that same show, he mentions how he grew up poor. So basically later on, like I don't know if he had it when he was a child or whatever, or when he was a teenager, but most people who never had it before will do that. They don't appreciate it. You're right. If you don't love yourself, then you're never going to be happy. And that's the point. Like people aren't happy because they don't love themselves. Getting money and girls is not going to change the fact that you're not happy because guess what? Depressed people and sad people, they screw all the time. And if you have resources like Tate does, then that's going to be the cure to all your sadness. Like honestly, that's going to be the cure. You have to like you see he talks from a place of pure ignorance. You don't know everybody. Like first of all, if the dude doesn't even know the difference between a therapist and a psychiatrist, let's just start there. Two, there's there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 different types of depression, and he looped situational depression into being one thing. One thing. That shows that he didn't do his research before going on the show or any show that he's done. So when people challenge him, he wants to say something's wrong with them. Like you provided no facts in whatever you said. And the crazy thing is, I myself don't even have a psychology degree yet. As of right now, I don't have a degree in that, but I'm studying it. And I knew enough to research what I'm going to say about this topic before I came on the show. I didn't just drink vodka and sniff blow. I'm pretty sure he sniffed some blow before he came on that show. I didn't do any of that stuff before I came on here. Did the research. I'm currently studying in the school, so that's why I'm able to come on here and tell you that you're wrong. Depression is real, and a lot of people are affected, especially during this pandemic. People lost people from COVID. People lost their jobs. People losing their homes. Oh, come think of it. Let me address what he said about it being selfish. You see, he's trying to say that if you're depressed, he wants you. You see, he's asking people to think about others when they're going through their personal tribulation, trials and tribulations. Why would I think about how is somebody getting killed out on the street or somebody getting into a wreck or something catching fire? How does that directly affect me? How does that affect me comparing those things to myself? You're not supposed to compare anything to yourself from yourself. Like everybody's different. Yeah, the dude is on Baka and Blow. Like before, like I can like to note before they did the show they because I was looking at the stories because I follow them on Instagram. The Fresh and Fit crew. They was they was on they was on a yacht. They was drinking and they was doing all this other stuff. Before you go on the platform, you should never. Well, I'm not going to say you should never drink because different people have their vices, but if you're gonna go talk about something as serious as mental health, you should probably know what you're talking about before you do it. You should probably do your research before you talk out your ass, because that's all he did is talk out his ass. And then the shows that he's on, it's either they subscribe to that idea that he does, or they just scared to call him out on it. Because if he was on here with me, I will call him out on everything that he said. Because he thought that he thinks he had people beat with him saying, "Well, Robin Williams, he no, you don't have nobody beat, you dumb bastard." Because rich people, they kill themselves. They have money, they kill themselves. They go to depression. Royce the 5'9". He's one of my favorite artists. He's gone through some depression, and he has way more money than everybody in that room. Like, are you serious? He has way more money than anybody in that room put together. You suffered Dak Prescott got more money than everybody in that room, in that studio. Suffered from depression because he lost a family member. Because that guy, I don't think that dude has ever been to any traumatic experience in his life, and it shows. It really shows. I'm sorry if I sound a little bit sluggish because I took the COVID vaccine yesterday, and this got me on some other stuff. It got me like sluggish, but I had to come on here to rant about this because because when I first heard it, especially the first clip, I ain't gonna lie, I was in tears. I was trying not to. I almost. Oh my god, I was dying. I was dying laughing. I'm like the dumbest shit that I ever heard in my life. But I know these individuals are not gonna respond to this video. I know they're not. Their fanboys might, but they're not. I don't care if you do. If you do, I want all the smoke. I want all the smoke. You want to come at me? Come at me with some facts. Don't just don't just agree with somebody because you like them. Because I believe that's what majority of people in these comic sections. That's what they do. They agree because it falls in line with their warped way of thinking. Because like because if I was to hang out, I was talking to somebody earlier today. Like I was talking to a friend earlier today about the show that I was gonna do. And she I mentioned that I believe with him, I believe he has this way of thinking because of the people he's hung around. If you hang out with douchebags, you're gonna become a douchebag. If you hang out with asshats, you're gonna become one. If you hang out with humble people, you're gonna be a humble person. It's all about who you align yourself with. God, I'm pretty sure she was young, and I'm pretty sure she was young too. See, people don't know. People just want to talk out the ass because they're not living because their reality is not of majority of people. Because you see, he's rich, and no, I'm not. I'm not. I don't want him canceled. I don't want nobody to cancel him. I'm not trying to do that. But he comes from a place where he's rich. He has all these cars. He has all these women. So why should he give a shit about anybody else? He's living life. If you don't believe in depression because you haven't been impacted by it, then that's on you. But don't go on the internet and tell people that depression isn't real because it is real. It wouldn't be different forms of depression if it wasn't real. So, like honestly speaking, oh my god, like know what I feel like doing? I feel like doing a I feel like having people like jump on here to speak to me right quick about it, like on like give me your thoughts on the situation because it's hilarious. How many of y'all want me to do that? Because I'll do that for like an hour. I'll do a little Q&A, like where I'll what I'll do is I'll put the link here on YouTube. In fact, I can actually I'm gonna do it right now. To anybody that want to come on here and talk about this subject, I'll invite one of you. Sorry, I'll invite each of y'all one at a time to come in and talk to me. If y'all want to give me your thoughts and opinions about what y'all just heard, because I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all have a lot to say. Okay, I just posted a link. Give me 1 second. Yeah, this is bad. Okay, I'll put a link in the description box for anybody who wants to come on here and join me. I'll put it on Instagram as well. I want to hear. I need to get your thoughts on this because this dude is the like this is the dumbest. This is actually the dumbest shit that I've ever heard in my life. Honestly, dumb. And no, I'm not triggered. For anybody who was wondering, no, I'm not triggered. I'm not mad. I think me personally, I just think it's pretty funny. Honestly, it's pretty funny how shallow people can be when it comes to certain things. Because it doesn't affect me, I'm gonna say that it's not real. That's a very close, like people like that are just close minded. Close minded as shit too. But yeah, if anybody wants to join, I only got a few minutes. I'll probably be on here for like, well, however long it takes for anybody to like talk, because this is ridiculous. Like that dude is a straight d bag. Actually, give actually hold on. In fact, I'm gonna have my boy Mickey jump on for anybody that's listening. Give me 1 second. I can hear you.
What's good? Give me 1 moment. I'm outside. I gotta wear your fucking mask.
Yeah, I know.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Well, your favorite
Oh, trust me, they know. Mickey with the blicky. All right. Like earlier, there was a guy by the name of I think Andrew Tate is his name. He's a mixed martial artist. He retires. He's a retired mixed martial artist that's an entrepreneur. He went on this radio show or a podcast, I should say, to talk about depression. His idea of depression. He says that it's not real. Yeah. He thinks that the thing is what he did was loop in situational depression with a broad brush and paint. That's what he did because situational depression is something that you can cure because you can change your environment. Yeah. 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 I agree with that. Yeah. But yeah. But at the same time, it's like he's saying that the cure to the like sadness and depression is well for men. He's particularly talking about is hoes and money. Of course, you can give somebody $10 million, and they won't be sad for that moment, and then they realize that the people that's coming around them, they're gonna be questioning. They're gonna be like, wait a minute, are these people here because they really like me, they really fucks with me, or are they here because they know I have a lot of money? They just want to pilfer off me.
Just some people also do that now or for love. You know what? How long can I ride your wave because you make me feel appreciated when nobody else does? Depression, think about it. Depression can also be like, what if those are also signs of depression. A person got to keep continually validation from others. A person isn't happy with themselves. That's a form of being depressed.
Exactly.
Give me $10 million so I can feel any form of validation. If I constantly need that's a form of depression. That person is either, in a way, like it's like reading the room. That's kind of a cry for help. If I need all these people, if I need all these things to make me feel some kind of value, materialistic things come and go. So, and as sad as it is, some people come and go. So you gotta find joy and peace within yourself before you find that within others.
Exactly. That's the point.
To say depression isn't real, that man, he must not have been somebody that hasn't dealt with it. It's like saying, for instance, you know what? That person's crying because their mother died. They stupid. There's a whole bunch of other mothers in the world, but that person is hurt. That in that moment, that person, the whole world came crashing down. That's how it is to me. You understand? Like I suffer from depression. As odd as it is, I suffer from depression. It's a lot of times I feel like I need to be shut out from the world. So I understand it. Like, so I don't want to go too deep because I don't know how much time you got. I don't want to take.
Oh no, I got plenty of time. I got plenty of time.
You remember, I ain't want to kill your time, bro. I'll be here talking all day.
No, I got plenty of time to talk about this because, to be honest, when I heard this stuff last night, I was chilling. I was by my window. I was smoking. Now I stumbled onto this, and I was listening to it. I'm like,
I gotta give a shout out to Vexy Smile. That's my boy. I see you, bro, in the chat, in the comment. Much love, bro.
awesome. Yeah, like you see, when I heard this, I was laughing uncontrollably, especially when he like how you go on a platform and say, oh, because he was talking about Robin Williams. He said something about his therapist giving him medication. Therapists don't give you medication. Psychiatrists do. It's a difference.
I'll give him a pass on that one. Maybe I see was explaining that he messed up. So
no, I'm not going to give him a pass. He was talking. If you can listen to him, if you can listen to that dude, he was talking really confident. Like he knew what he was. You just went on a platform and said something really stupid.
You just taught me whenever I speak with confidence, make sure I say I'm corrected with what I'm saying.
Yeah, make sure you know what the hell you're talking about. If you're gonna go tell people that something's not real, make sure you have your facts straight before you do it.
You got all your everything, all your I's dotted and all your T's crossed.
That's all.
Correct.
Yeah, so he's not getting the pass. He's an idiot.
But what he was trying to say about Robin Williams, that he didn't suffer from depression or anything of that nature.
No, he believes that he killed himself because he was selfish. But he had dementia. He had a mental illness that led him to kill himself because it's a form of dementia that really deteriorated his mind. Like his memory was declining. That's why he killed himself.
So see, and that's also that somebody that just half-ass their research just to try to make their point seem valid. It's like you speaking to speak, but not speaking to understand, not speaking to listen.
Exactly. That's what he's doing. He's speaking. He's just speaking to get a response out of people because he's a troll.
And that's what I'm saying. In this era, it's kind of hard to say if he's genuine or if he's just doing this for some form of publicity. Because in this era, we do have that. We do suffer from that a lot. Everybody rather be a troll to clout chase and rather be honest and up front with how they feel about things. So I'm not gonna put them on blast, but I also had a debate with somebody. Like, for instance, they had said, "I just like to disagree with you just because it's fun."
Yeah.
You just arguing the argument. To me, that's what it's going. I'm just gonna say this without understanding it. Depression is a real thing. So it's like saying poverty isn't real. If you're rich, if you're a millionaire, poverty don't exist. Is that what you're trying to say to everybody that's living within our circumstances? Well, you seen it firsthand. Poverty is real.
Yeah, he's talking about how he basically said, "Oh, Everybody's depressed. That's what he said.
Post-traumatic stress, PTSD. Is that not real? Like, so there's like a whole bunch of combination of things. It's like, bro, the world is showing you that a lot of these things are real. How? That's just me. I'm gonna sound. It's just a.
Give me 1 second. Keep on talking. I'm gonna step away to get my charger.
Problem. As just an individual, I feel that live in a bubble and they just. Again, he just don't want to see the world for what it is, and I don't want to say like he's clout chasing. I don't want to say like he does it. There are some people that we also got to remember that we got to teach, we got to educate. As people who's also selfish to withhold information, information should always be shared. So even if you feel some kind of way about that individual, you know what they said was dumb. Teach them, even no matter how
I had my mic muted on the show, so
The whole time I was just talking, answering myself.
no, people on Instagram can hear you, but I actually, well, yeah,
It's all good. I have a sexy voice, so I hope they enjoyed it.
yeah, well, like for the most part, and also that coach, he mentioned something about he like the fill you in. He said he was talking to a client, and um the person said that they was afraid to out there talk to women because they feel social awkwardness and stuff. And then he said, "There's nothing wrong with you." Like it's like he's not. It's like they're not addressing the problem. They're just going off of surface things. Like I have money, I have all these girls, so I shouldn't feel depressed, or I shouldn't. Like, come on.
I tell them things you want to hear. Oh man, I'm sad. Man, you should be happy. It's a good day. Like, how's that advice?
That's not advice.
Kind of saying the obvious. If you want to help somebody, you gotta
Ask them what's wrong.
fire. Yeah, you gotta go through the fire. Why do you feel this way? Socially awkward. Why?
Thank you.
It sounds weird coming from me, and I don't want to say like I'm just talking. That's one of my traits. I'm very uncomfortable around women. That's why I joke a lot. Because one thing women love is a funny person.
Yeah.
So I joke because I'm uncomfortable, and it tends to work in my favor. So sometimes understanding your weaknesses could also be beneficial.
Exactly.
And one thing I did too, like, and I was gonna talk about like anybody dealing with depression or feeling bad. One thing I started doing as of recently, again, you've seen a lot of my other friends.
Yeah.
What I do now when I feel sad, I would text them like I would let them know I'm feeling insecure today for no reason, and they would help me, guide me, listen to me. As people, I don't know, the strongest thing we can do is open up because if we've been holding it, being more vocal, open. So let's see how that works.
Exactly.
If we keep holding it in and we keep feeling like shit, well, let's try being vocal now.
And you
Approach.
and also you're supposed to go to your friends and lean on them if you need some more support. That's what they're for.
That's why they're my friends, right? You're supposed to love me, guide me, protect me.
Exactly.
Same for you.
Yeah.
It's like journey together.
Exactly. Just don't overwhelm them with your problems to the point that it makes them like it just it makes them uncomfortable.
I feel like they have to do something for you.
Yeah.
Like make them feel like they have to solve my problems. That's not your friend's job. Their job is just to help you. You yourself, the person going through, you got to solve your own problems. One thing mom always told me, one thing we all know is those we love ain't gonna be here forever. We gotta do this shit ourselves.
Exactly.
Going back to depression, you can't be selfish in that nature. What you're saying is could also be hurtful to others. Say, man.
That's the thing. They don't care about that. Like he wants to try to he tries to paint one form of depression with a broad brush, and you can't do that.
And that's another thing. You go back. Yeah, you can't push your trauma on the others. That's not solving nothing. All you're doing is I feel better temporarily because I feel like now you had to solve my problems for me. I was always I'm a man, and I did a lot of fuck shit as a kid. I ain't gonna sit here and preach perfection. You had to go through it to understand it. So I did a lot of fuck shit. I admit it. We ain't gonna talk about it. But for me to understand the errors, I gotta go through my own crucible. Why am I depressed? How can I conquer my depression? And sometimes I win, sometimes I lose. And when I'm losing, I go to those in my corner help me. Because the last thing I ever want to do is lose.
First of all, um, like some people have to admit that they have an issue. So that's the first step. Admit First step is to admit that you have an issue within yourself, so you can change it.
You're so right. You got it. And it's not wrong. Like I said, name one person in the world with no issues. Ain't no of them fake social media famous people you see happy parading. We all got issues. We all battling demons. Some of us have money to hide it, while some of us really got to go through it. We all going through it. Just accept it. The moment you accept it and you can really conquer it, you gonna feel just how much. That's really a weight off your shoulders. you see your struggles and once you see your pain, you're like, you know what? This is what I could do to make this situation better, make me better, make those around me better.
Yeah.
Just being out there, just saying, giving people half bogus information just so you can get another million followers on your thing. If you're in a position where especially them, they're in a way better position than us. We do this, but we probably only reaching a couple 100,000 people while they're touching millions of people.
Yeah.
Careful with how you controlling the narrative and what you're saying to people. Oh, this is all in your mind. Yes, you are right. But why are you giving people half information? What about the other steps so they could be able to overcome this?
Yeah, for example, like I was gonna get ready to say to the coach. He was mentioning how um it's like okay, okay, actually not even the coach, him. He mentioned something about how somebody came to him and said, "Oh, I'm depressed because I know I'm overweight and I can't get girls." He's like, "No, that's not why you're depressed. You're depressed because you can't get the." Well, I'm like, "What?" But the thing is, did you care to ask him why does he feel depressed or why does he feel this way, or did you just come to the conclusion that he's depressed because he's fat? I mean, there's a reason why you. I mean, there's a reason why he's probably overweight. I mean, other than the obvious, of course, he's eating too much. But why are you eating too much? What's making you eat? What's making you eat? What's making you eat to the point that you're overweight? What's causing that? You have to start with the root of the issue. You can't just
You can't just jump from A to Z. You got the 24 other letters in between.
exactly.
What you mean, brother? So, like, what's the root of it? Why are you feeling this way?
That's the point.
You feel your happiest. And then let's start from there. To me, that would have been the first thing. Fuck the women. Let's work. Why when you eat, you feel happy, and let's work from there. And we worry about women later. Women come and go, but what's more important is your health. Because we ain't gonna be able to have a story about women as if you're 500 pounds and God knows what. So let's work on your health. Why when you eat, you happy, and we work from there. How about you? Oh, that, I gotta eventually get going soon so I can catch my boat.
It's fine, bro. I appreciate you coming on here, though.
Of course, much pleasure, much love, brother. You know, I had to show love. You show me love, I had to show you love. Be sure to catch my bro on my podcast too, coming out this Thursday. I gotta throw that plug on you, bro.
Yeah, it's gonna be out Thursday.
It was a good talk, and I can't wait for us to have another convo like this.
I can't wait neither.
Good night, bro. Good night, people that listen. I hope y'all enjoy.
Get home safe, Mix Mickey with the blicky. Mickey with the blicky. Awesome. He like I'm telling you nothing but the truth. I'm not gonna go on here and try to lie just to get followers because I doubt that any of these people will listen to anything I have to say. Maybe because I'm holding this microphone even though I have an RE20 back there. But this show is a work in progress. So if you're gonna look at me and look at the show and be like, oh, well, you have less than me, so I don't have to listen to you. Right there, right there, that's your shallow way of thinking. Like that's your shallow way of thinking, and like you should change that in a hurry. And by the way, like and subscribe to this channel because if I get 1,000 subscribers, I will be walking from the Bronx, where I live at, to Brooklyn Bridge Park on the Brooklyn side of the Brooklyn Bridge, not that far from Dumbo. So 1,000 subs, I'll take that walk. And you're welcome to come with me and take that walk if you like. Mm. But I appreciate y'all listening. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section because this shit needs to stop. Like this shit really needs to stop. Like quit going on these platforms and just talking out your ass. Stop. And for any of these hosts that listen to the bullshit and don't call them out on it, I was gonna assume that you probably subscribe to those theories and you need help too. But you have a good night. Y'all been watching the William Green Experience right here on YouTube. You have a good night. Drive safe if you're driving.